Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Mark May here. Welcome to the last episode for a little while, episode 55 of the Mayhem Show. We are going to be running this tonight with Miss Sapphire Nova and Derrick Nova. It's going to be an amazing time. We're going to be talking about the Jengharr and Shredd Kickstarter that we got going on right now. You guys are going to be able to check that out. We're going to show you all the different covers that we have for it, and we're going to show you a couple videos actually, hype videos for the campaign that we got going on right now. Talk a little bit about also the convention we got coming next week for Grand Island Comic-Con. So we're going to be talking about that a little bit. All of us will be at that con, which is awesome. Too bad we can't have the book out before then, right? Because then we could all sign it. It'd be a great time. Guys, without any further ado, we are going to play the video for Jengharr and Shredd to show you all the different covers. We're going to get that going here in just a second. Here we go, guys. All right, guys, that's the hype video for all the covers that we have coming on in the campaign. It's going to be an amazing campaign with a ton of different covers. I think it's 13 or 14 different covers you have to look forward to. It's going to be one of the biggest we've ever done. It is the biggest we've ever done cover-wise, period. Guys, without any further ado, let's bring out our special guest tonight, Sapphire Nova and Derrick Nova, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing tonight, guys?
Hello, hello.
Wonderful. How are you doing?
It's another beautiful night in paradise. Can't complain too bad. Thanks for being on the show, guys. Really amazing to have you both on here. Sapphire, wearing the Jengharr outfit. Really awesome to have that on here tonight. Derrick with the amazing NASA shirt.
Yeah, and we'll have spontaneous puppy interruptions all throughout the night.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's actually nothing better than that. So, what kind of dog y'all have?
We have 2 German Shepherd Husky mixes. So
Yep.
Yeah.
They're very needy.
I'm a huge German Shepherd fan, man. Huge German Shepherd fan. We got one named Yoda. So.
Oh, I love it. Ours are Aries and Athena. So
Oh, nice.
gods. And they were very appropriately named.
Very much so.
So, guys, we always start out the show asking the big question, and the big question is, at what show has the best food for what city, and what is the restaurant that y'all have ate at that is your favorite at a convention?
Ooh,
That's
a really good question.
tough.
I mean, so for me, I'm a sweet tooth kind of girl. So we definitely had some beignets when we were in New Orleans. So at Cafe
Yeah.
Grande, that was for me. You know, like I said, I like my sweets. So that was my
The only real restaurant that I can remember is Mama Loyetta, also in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Remember when I didn't get my food forever?
I do not remember the name of it.
Yeah, we went to this famous breakfast spot in New Orleans after Where's the World New Orleans. And there was 12 of us there, at least, around this gigantic table. Like, I have no idea why they have this massive table. It's fucking huge. And so everybody else orders, we all order at the same time, and everybody gets their food, and 15 minutes later, I still haven't got my food. So I'm like, hey, what's going on with my food? Not to be that guy, but 15 minutes, guys. And they're like, so sorry about that. Your food's getting remade. And I was like, oh, what happened? And they go, the chef making it had a heart attack.
Oh my
like,
God.
What? Yeah, because we had 15 minutes of conversation about what all these sirens we were hearing outside were. And it was the chef making my food having the heart attack. So that
God.
one is probably the only restaurant that truly, really stands out to me at this point.
After a while, they all kind of start to blur.
Yeah, I mean, and for us, we're generally so busy with the show that we get in, we eat con food or hotel food, and then we fly back out again.
Yeah, it's a lot of convention centers.
Yeah, so it's I will say White Plains, Undiscovered Realm Comic Con in White Plains, New York, has a Nathan's inside the convention center, and I fucking love that.
What is it?
I don't know, because I think it's an East Coast thing. Nathan's is like a hot dog restaurant.
Oh, Nathan's hot dog place. All right.
It's kind of fast foody, but a little nicer than your McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's get out of the food questions. Let's jump into the business questions. So, tell me a little bit about y'all's business for what you got going on with all the cosplay stuff. Tell me about that.
Business guy?
I'm the business side. Basically, we started 8 years ago as a custom costume company because we kept going to midnight movie premieres and people kept offering to buy our stuff. And then finally, we were like, okay, well, let's start selling some stuff. Then we did a few shows. Then we had a bunch of shows reach out to us and go, oh my God, your stuff's amazing. We'd love you as cosplay guests. And we're like, we guess so. And then we had designers come up and be like, hey, we want to sell through you. And I was like, okay. And then we had a show ask us to run their cosplay contest. And I was like, okay, can't be that hard. And I thought we did a mediocre job and that they were just singing our praises. And I was like, my God, how bad was the last one that you thought that was amazing? And so it just kind of piled up from there, kept falling upwards. There was no clear path we took. And it eventually evolved into now we've got, 15, 20 designers at any given time, 30, 40 models across the country. We're on the cover of comic books. We're doing tons of shows throughout the year, all sorts of stuff. And, we do celebrity talent booking for Comic Cons, anime cons, all sorts of comic book stores and comic book covers with various models. So kind of spiraled.
Well, I got to say, meeting y'all at Nebraska last year was really awesome. You're really cool. I got a good vibe about Derrick immediately. Same with you, Sapphire. I've never asked any other cosplayer in the world to take pictures of them so I could use them for reference ever. First one ever. Who's this doggy right here?
So this is Aries.
This is Aries, asked to have his interruption time.
Mm-hmm. He's usually the more interrupty kind.
Yup.
Because he's a daddy's boy, so he has to jump in a lot just to make sure that everything's okay.
It's like, Dad, everything okay? Is this interview going okay?
Yeah. Well, and then he also like knows that we're talking to someone, and so like he never really like looks at the screen to watch anything, but he like has to poke in and be part of it.
Yeah.
That makes total sense. But so going back to the Nebraska thing, we're going to be in Nebraska again together next week.
Yes.
So amazing that we're going to be going back to that convention for DNS Comics out there for Grand Island Comic Con is the name of it. Comic Fest number 4,
Yeah, Comic Fest,
I believe is what it's going to be called. Do you guys have any really awesome cosplays planned for the weekend?
So yeah, still kind of working on some lineups. Myself and Banana Kid Cosplay, so Banana of Banana Kid Cosplay. She was also there with us that last time when we saw you. She's going to be returning as well. So yeah, we definitely got some fun stuff coming, but still kind of pegging down the details. Usually I kind of go to the costume closet and I play the game of like puzzle, like, okay, well, if I put this costume on her, what costume can I wear? And there's just like, we're definitely planning because it's going to be a little colder this time than last time. And so, Vampirella will not be coming out for this convention because I would freeze my butt off.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're also planning.
You were cold last time. I mean, you were cold last time. You'll freeze to death this
They're
time.
always cold. It doesn't matter where we are. We have cons in the middle of summer in Arizona, and they're still like, we're freezing.
Well, yeah, because the air conditioning is cold in these places.
Well, that's because you're from Phoenix, right? You guys are from Phoenix, the Phoenix area, right? So that's why you guys are always cold all the time, man.
But yeah, so we're actually planning on leaving. We're leaving either Tuesday night or super early Wednesday morning because we're planning on the way up to Nebraska and on the way back, stopping and snagging a bunch of pictures in various costumes along the way. So that's added a additional wrinkle into like what we're bringing with us and such of trying, there's only one car.
Yeah. I think right now I'm looking at something on the order of like 15 or so costumes to come along, not including the con costumes.
Will Jenghar's costume be one of them?
I can make that happen.
We do plan on bringing it up, and we're probably going to take pictures of it along the way. But it will unfortunately not be worn at the show. Yeah. We were asked to do less revealing outfits for this coming show.
Well, what can you say, man?
Yeah,
I thought the outfits were just fine last time. Actually, it looked like it brought in a ton of people. Just saying.
Yeah, it was. I guess what's occurring isn't anything necessarily bad. No complaints or anything, because we have had shows where like we were. Where was that? Upper New York was where we were, and like I was Gamora that day. Yeah, you were Gamora, and we had this weird complaint from this like I don't even know what to call them. They were like a religious group of some sort that decided a Comic-Con was the perfect Sunday outing for their congregation.
Oh, Lord.
And they saw her in Gamora and were like, oh my God, we're so offended. But they had no issue with a girl was in literal pasties and like a thong getting airbrushed, like full body airbrushed into an Attack on Titan. And they had no issues with her. But her, wrapped in a cloak because she was freezing, was somehow a problem.
Plus, like, I do, like, the old school Gamora, so, like, her, like, OG look, which is, like, I mean, it is a V bikini, and, like, but she has a cloak on, and then I'm fully painted. I have, like, thigh-high boots on, gloves, like, but, that was more risque than the, pasties and a thong.
Look, all I'm going to say is I think you're doing God's work for a lot of these guys at these shows. So, just so you know,
that way. So,
God made her this way. Like, what's the problem?
Well, here's the other thing is like, think about all the dudes that go there, might not have the best luck with ladies. You're nice to them. You actually get to talk to them a little bit.
Yeah.
That dude, that's a self-esteem boost for any one of those dudes out there
For
that
sure.
otherwise can't get a girl. Not only that, but being able to talk to a pretty girl, it really helps those guys out a lot. And you're very approachable. So
Thank you. Yeah.
it's really it's a good thing. I'm sad that those guys said that because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You know what I mean? But I mean, like I said, I think if they actually knew it, you're doing God's work. So I mean, it's pretty good.
You know what though? I will represent it in a different way. You know, I'm gonna come in a big, potato sack. No, I'm totally joking. It'll still be beautiful. It'll just be, different. And so that's okay. But, and you have to respect, people's wishes too. If that's the way they want to take their show. There's a few other shows around the country that I know they do exactly the same thing. And we just plan accordingly.
It's the same way with comics and art. There were certain shows that I knew I couldn't bring, like the naughty and nice stuff from Rat Michaels to, you know what I mean? And then there was like shows that, Hellbringers I even felt was maybe iffy for certain areas. Like when we went to Texas, was worried about it. But, people ate it up, man. It's because they can't get it in those areas, it feels like.
Yeah, well, what we find that generally brings up the discussion is shows claiming to be, well, not claiming, but stating they're family friendly, and essentially it's that there's never complaints, but they're trying to just bypass the issue entirely because you can have, I mean, I can't count the number of families we've seen over the years at this point that, like, it's everywhere. Like, if a kid picks up any comic or walks into a comic book store, they've seen all this stuff. It's not like we're running around in micro bikinis, cosplaying fake Pikachu here. Like, these are the characters. They are book accurate, character accurate, costume accurate. We are not sexifying anything up. These are 100% natural comic book designs. And so, like, there's almost never we've never had complaints, barring that one group. Yeah. But some shows are just like, we just totally want to bypass the trouble and just wear less revealing stuff. And what gets me, too, is it's kind of like the whole argument guys have when girls freak out when you see them in a bra and panties, but a bikini's fine. And you're like, those are the exact same thing. Like...
So, Derrick, let me ask you a question. This is going to be an interesting question. As the husband to Sapphire, how often is it that you have to defend her against dudes when you're at shows and stuff like that?
I mean, honestly, over the years, we've only had like 3 incidents. I want to say something like that. Like,
there's been a lot of minor stuff, but sorry to kind of jump.
Yeah. I mean, it's more her than me, honestly.
No, I mean, for the most part, like, I can take care of myself. But no, it's like,
absolutely.
I will say, like, I'm not one that gets easily offended, and like, I'm a hugger, I'm a toucher, like, come on over, give me a hug, like, none of that stuff ever bothers me. If you want to throw your arm around my waist to take a picture, let's go ahead and do it, like, no big deal. So, I know there's a lot of girls that have a lot more kind of restrictive touch and stuff like that probably would need, somebody like him to jump in more often. But, like I said, I'm pretty chill about most things.
I mean, there's the Boston guy.
Yeah, I mean, then...
Tell me what happened. We want to know. Tell us.
Gentleman approached me. We kind of like... I was wandering the aisles at that point, so I was away from my booth. And... we lost him for a second. And so I was, like, wandering around, and then he kind of, like, stopped me, and that was fine. And he came and he asked me, he like goes, you're so beautiful. Can I give you a hug? So I was like, okay, yeah, bring it in. Like, come on, let's do a hug. And so he hugs me, no big deal. And then we start to pull away, and he holds me in his arms. So now we're like inches from each other's face. And he goes, can I kiss you? No. And then he bolted, like he was gone. So, that one, like, had Derrick been around, I probably would have had him step in there. But, again, like you said, a lot of guys are just awkward. A lot of people like nowadays, especially so much with social media and people being so not face to face, it's hard for a lot of people to interact. And, you know, I get it. I am a pretty girl, so sometimes it shorts the brain out a little bit. So, you know, like I said, I'm pretty forgiving about most things, but I mean, he is always there. Like, if I told him, like, for even a second, like, dude, that guy gave me a funny glance, it makes me feel uncomfortable, like, he would be right there defending me. So, you know, it's nice to know I've always got him if I need it, but thank goodness, you know, we really haven't had too much.
Yeah, I mean, we've really only had, we've only banned, like, one person from our booth.
Yeah.
Ever. Barring, like...
What was the story on that one, Derek?
It was weird, is the best way to put it. So, like, this guy saw us at Phoenix Fan Fusion, or whatever the hell they're calling themselves at this point. 2019? 2018. No, 2019. 2019. And we didn't even remember meeting him because it came up later that this became a thing. But apparently he was watching us as she was walking around as Lady Death at Phoenix Fan Fusion that year. And when I walk with her, I keep a general eye out for just anything because I'm just like, I'm a naturally observant person. And I didn't even register the dude. But we ran into him later in the year that year.
Yeah,
probably.
it was a different show later.
Yeah, and he comes up to the booth and he's like, you know, you don't have to be threatened by me. Like, not a hi, not a hello, just walks up to me. And the guy's, God, he's got to be like 100 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
Like, at best. Like, not intimidating in literally any way. And I was like, excuse me? And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm not a threat to anybody. And I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. And he's like, well, I was watching you guys at Phoenix Fan Fusion and he kept glaring at me when I was looking at Sapphire. And I'm like, dude, I don't mean this offensively. I have no fucking idea who you are at all. I don't know what you're talking about. And so then he's like, well, you want to fight about it then? And I was like, dude, I don't even know what's going on right now. Like, you just need to stay away. Like, go away. And I banned him. And then we finally remembered who he was, basically, because we'd seen him, like, lingering around at other places. And then he, like, randomly showed up. We had, like, a birthday party with one of our models. And, like, she posted about it on her friends group, basically. And he randomly showed up, and basically the same situation happened, where he was like, hi, you know, I'm good friends with you. And I'm like, I don't remember who you are. And he's like, it's so-and-so. And I was like, I think you think I'm someone else. And he goes, no, you're you. And I'm like, I know I'm me, but I don't know you. And yeah, it was just, every interaction we ever had with the guy is super wildly weird. And I was like, no.
And he just tries to always make it a fight. And so that's where it just started to become a problem.
What do you think he's gonna do, Derek? Does he think he's gonna beat you up and take her like in the moment?
I have literally no idea what he's going to do because I could probably just let him. Like he could probably repeatedly punch me for like 3 hours and I wouldn't even notice. Like the guy's like there's nothing there. Like it's like me fighting a chicken. Like, you know? So like I don't know what he thinks is going on in his head between us, but like, okay. But yeah, like I mean, honestly, we've done, God, somewhere north of at least 250 shows easy.
Damn,
at this
250.
point, 8 years.
How many years? 8 years.
8 years. And in all that time, we've only had like 3 actual issues. There was the Boston guy, there was the Atlantic City dude, and then there was the Tucson guy. And all of them, barring Boston dude, he just ran away too quick, so we couldn't get security. And he didn't do anything beyond being super weird. But the other 2, like convention security, had them thrown out within literal minutes. Yeah. Like I reported it. Dude was gone in under 60 seconds. So that's my advice all the time. Like, immediately, event security, they swoop those dudes out. Like,
No, most are really great about that.
That's not too bad with the story on those guys. We're keeping the show flowing here, guys, with Sapphire and Derrick Nova. Guys, we are talking about Jengharr and Shredd 2. The campaign that we have going on right now on Kickstarter has 3 days left, y'all. Only 3 days. And so we are going to be done with the campaign before we get to Nebraska to all see each other. Let's talk about something real quick. We're going to talk about two things first before we get in. We're gonna show you the Kickstarter. We're going to show her cover off real quick. We're going to share the screen right now. That way you guys can see the Kickstarter that we got going on as we speak. It is sitting at 95 backers, guys, with 3 days to go, $7,796. Absolutely killing it on this side, guys. Let's show you a little bit of what we got going on. Actually, Sapphire, I don't know if you knew this, but you are the first image that shows up on this Kickstarter at the very top. So everybody that has clicked on this has seen this cover. That's going to be her cover, folks. We're showing you just a little bit of the KS here. It's got your story, your cover artist, all the internal pages are going to look kind of like this right here. And then we're gonna actually bring this down and show you. Oops. We're gonna bring this down and show you real quick. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, Brittany Lawson is in the house. Speaking of Nebraska, Brittany Lawson now watching the show. Let's bring up the cover for Sapphire here. That way you guys can see it. So let's talk about this for just a little bit. We're going to talk about a couple more things after this one. But Derrick, this is the first ever cosplay cover for Hellbringers. And you helped set this up really more than anybody. And Sapphire, I mean, I know you've been on some pretty amazing covers as the first ever cosplayer for those covers, but I mean, I'm just saying this might top the list here. I don't know.
It's pretty awesome. It's always an honor to be the first, because nobody can ever take that spot from me.
That's right.
So thank you for allowing me that honor.
Well, I love this cover. I love the pictures that you guys were able to take for the project. Picking the pictures was one of the funnest parts of the entire process. But man, that took hours. That took like 2 hours for me to sit there and pick. And that was the last day too. So I was under a lot of pressure. It's like, we got to get this picked and we got to get it picked now. And I was like, man, this is tough to do. But let's talk a little bit about this then. Let's talk about, how did you get into cosplay? Tell me a little bit about your background and what brought you to this life of cosplay, Sapphire.
Sure. So actually, like, it's funny because a lot of people, when they see me do this together, they assume that he's the one that kind of got me into comics and cosplay and stuff like that. And it's actually, well, not that I got you into comics.
Yeah.
I got you more into cosplay. Like, I was a cosplayer first. This is Aries again. No, honestly, like, I've kind of been, like, in some way, shape, or form, doing costuming all my life. Like, I mean, I pretty much lived in, like, a princess costume when I was a child. Or, like, you couldn't fight me out of my Ninja Turtle slippers. And then, like, as I got older, I kind of coined, like, the start of my cosplay as when I attended the Lord of the Rings movie premieres in costume. Because that was the first time I, like, started creating my own costumes. And mind you, it was terrible. I made this, like, cloak to go, I wore, like, an old prom dress, and I made a cloak to go over it, and, like, I put on elf ears, and I was, like, so proud because I was but, like, this cloak was so terrible. Like, most people, if you know a cloak, like, the fabric doesn't stretch far enough, like, they just don't make fabric wide enough for a cloak. So generally, most cloaks have 2 panels, and you sew them straight down the middle. Well, I was a newbie little sewer, and I did not know this, so mine went straight across the back, which looked stupid. But again, so proud. And then it had, like, a little hood, and I took this pattern off the internet and, like, tried to, like, replicate it. But my hood came out, like, so small that it, like, fit like it was a dunce cap on my head, rather than being an actual hood. And once it was like attached to the cloak, it wasn't going on at all. So it just kind of sat decoratively on the back.
Hey, listen, I know
I was
about.
very proud of this. And
It's totally cool. It's what they say about early artwork. You know what I mean? My early artwork was terrible. I can't go back and look at 2015, 2016, 2017 artwork right now and be like, what the hell was this? Even though, you know, you got to get there somehow.
Yeah.
But that's all that is. It's just, you know, our failures are reminders of our success. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. Like, I mean, all of cosplay and all of artwork is a journey. You know, you don't start out being the artist that you are. You start out small and you work your way up. And you make mistakes along the way and you do stupid things and you look back and you go, oh God, like, why would I build a cloak like that? But, you know, again, at the moment, I was so proud because I was creating something myself.
Harley Quinn shirt.
Says the man that almost set our house on fire.
You have to test stuff.
Mm-hmm. We were building
How did you almost set the house on fire?
Well, okay, so if there's about to be a house fire, it's usually this one that has caused it.
You gotta test things, okay?
So we were.
What are you testing? Flamethrowers?
Basically.
Yeah, just a propane torch.
Nice.
To a t-shirt.
Well, okay, so we wanted bullet wounding, and she was like, I think you said, like, smear some black paint on it or something like that. I was like, no, I want it to look more realistic. So I hung the shirt up in the shower in case there was a fire, and I, like, very quickly, like, whooshed the torch across it. And in my head, I was like, it'll brown it a little, maybe burn a little bit, I'll pat it out. What actually happened was the entire t-shirt burst all into flames, all at the same time, in like a quarter of a second. Yeah. Like, doesn't make sense. But then we have stuff like, I've tested like the fire durability because we make like rubber, like urethane chest logos. So I was like, well, at what point do those melt? Because maybe we can fuse them together better and stuff like that. Answer is they do not melt to a propane torch. So it's stuff like that. I mean, honestly, I'm more in the manufacturing side of things with us. And so a lot of what I do is see what works, what connects together, what makes things look more real, the build side of things. So there's a lot of stuff, like, I mean, I would say a good probably 60% of the stuff I do is more about breaking things than it is about making things, because I don't know how well stuff holds up until I shatter it.
Right.
And that's one of the big things with like a lot of our costumes is like our costumes are built to be real world friendly. They last. We have not had, barring just minor inevitable failures of things, we have every costume we've ever made damn near in 8 years because we build them sturdy. They don't fall apart. They don't.
How many costumes do you think that is, Derek?
What?
How many costumes do you think you've built over that 8 years?
Probably somewhere on the order of like 70, 80.
Well, to clarify,
Oh,
that's
that's
70, 80 that we like are for our models. For what we've actually produced, I don't even have a number. Like, honestly, like north of at least 1,500 to 3,000 probably, depending on how you like. Because we have people who are like, hey, can you make this spear? And then we have people like, hey, can you make a Jaeger? You know, so like, what do you define costume as? Is really the breakdown.
Right.
So,
that's incredible, man, that you've had all those people. Oh, I mean, north over 1,500 orders is insane, man. That's absolutely insane. Guys, while we got you for a little bit, we're going to hit it with a hype video for Jengharr and Shredd 2. You guys ready to watch this one?
yeah, let's see it.
All right, here we go, guys. It's coming, I promise.
Any moment now.
Yeah, any moment now. I usually have a better segue than that. That was a trash segue, y'all.
Hello. Almost a video.
you. Thank you. All right, that's a little bit about what the book's going to be about on the inside, guys. So we're going to have that coming to you in maybe a month or two. All we're waiting for right now is Russ Cassidy's colors on the interior pages, and then we're going to send the book over to the screen to get lettered. So it's not going to take long. We don't take 8 months to get you comps. We get you comps within 4. So no problem there, guys. Also, I just want you guys to know that you can back the campaign right now for 3 more days over at Jengharr and Shredd 2. Get Sapphire's cover. It's going to be over there. Go pick it up. There's going to be chrome options, folks. It's going to be amazing. I'm just saying. So, guys, let's talk about this. We've talked about kind of how you got your start in cosplay. Tell us how you got to be Lady Death's first cosplayer ever. Highest award you could get cosplaying, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's kind of, long story and a short story altogether. This one got me into Lady Death years ago when we first got together. And so he was kind of the one that first suggested, like, hey, you should totally do a Lady Death cosplay. And I was like, you know what, that is a good idea. But I hadn't found, because I always try to find, things that are more elevated. And so I was like, I hadn't found the right version of her yet. And so I kept, searching. Finally, I came across this cover. I was like, the second I saw it, I was like, that's the one. I'm making this today. And so I started construction on it. And then it just so happened that Brian Polito was going to be at a convention that we were going to be at. And so I was like, okay, I have to have it done by this time. I want to show him. I'm so excited. And so I made sure I got it all finished. I worked the con. I was terrified meeting him because, I kind of fangirl. And so I was trying to be all cool and Lady Death, and I'm like, yes. So, I think I tried to be, all nonchalant about things, but I really wasn't. And so, that's kind of how we started our friendship. And I would say it's a friendship now at this point.
Oh, definitely. We love him to death.
Oh my God, so much. I still feel nervous in his presence. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not worthy. But and so it kind of became that way. And then we were fortunate enough. We were originally from here, from Phoenix, and we had moved out to Jersey. That's where we met him, and came to find out he lives here in Phoenix as well. Well, we moved back here to Phoenix, and we're like, oh, cool, we're neighbors now. And so it worked out well that way.
Yeah, and we ended up looking at, we saw that he was going to be doing a Kickstarter soon, and we really just hit him up, and we're like, hey, would you like to have Saph out as Lady Death to help promote the Kickstarter? She can come live on screen, so on and so forth, because Saph is an actress too. And he was like, fuck yeah. And so we came out, and then we did several of the Kickstarter videos with him. Yeah. And then he hit us up before Phoenix Fan Fusion 2019 there. And was like, hey, I want you guys to do a cosplay cover. And we were like, oh shit, we gotta bang this thing out fast. Because that was our first comic cover, actually.
That was, yeah. First ever of anything.
Yeah, it was. We were super honored for it. We didn't even realize at the time that she was going to be the first Lady Death cosplay cover.
I was nervous enough already.
Yeah, of Brian. Since Brian restarted Lady Death as his Lady Death again. And yeah, we did that, and then obviously COVID hit, and there were some backslides and stuff. And we've just kept in touch, obviously nonstop. And then he did Sworn Fest 2020 there, and we were like, we'll come out as Lady Death. And he was like, hell yeah, I want you out. And so it's just kind of been that, and we love him to death. Honestly, they Brian and Fran too, his wife, are just amazing people.
Yeah, she's super nice. I've met her 3 or 4 times. She's always been amazing to me, man.
And yeah, well, and it's not a performance. It's not just an attitude he cultivates with people. Like, he is him 100% of the time. Like, he is that.
Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know.
You know, like, I can't sing his praises high enough. And then Fran is so loving. And they are just the cutest couple ever, too. And, you know, so we've just continued to keep working with them. She just had another cover for their newest Kickstarter and for Sworn Fest.
I saw that one. That one's awesome. That's the one where you got the sword kind of behind you, right?
That's the one on the Kickstarter now.
That one's great. If you guys go check out the Kickstarter right now, you'll be able to get that one from her. I definitely recommend doing that for Mr. Polito. He always puts on great Kickstarters. I've backed actually more Polito Kickstarters than I've backed any other Kickstarter, period. So
good calls.
And you guys know it out there. I've got a number one on my list. I'm not going to say it right now. Everybody who knows me knows who it is. But one day, I also hope to work for Lady Death. So that's my big goal for the ladies is Lady Death. So I got Vampirella off the list.
Yeah.
I just want to get LD, man, because she's
all of Brian's stuff does amazing. He treats his people so well and his fans so well, and it shows in everything he does. And I mean, his latest Kickstarter just now, I mean, we broke we broke $250,000 in under an hour. Sorry, it was an hour and 2 minutes. You know,
Jesus Christ.
I think he's just about to crack 500K, and he's going. If we get 666,000, I'm gonna make him a hot dog costume. He's gonna eat a hot dog because corn dog because he's never had a corn dog before apparently.
What? He's never had a corn dog in his whole life?
Corn dog.
What?
That was going to be on his tombstone that he never ate a corn dog. But if he makes 666,000, we're changing that.
Well, you're going to have something else on the tombstone. No, I've never had a kombucha. I've never, had something like that.
Yeah. I mean,
that's
man really never had any accomplishments. What else could you put on a tombstone besides never ate a corn dog?
It's funny you guys talk about him because as far as a mentor goes for all the Kickstarter stuff that I have been doing, I've looked at him nonstop. Like he's been my number one influence just because you look at the best and he's the definition model of the best when it comes to the Kickstarter stuff. And I just feel like I can learn more from him than I could anybody else. So I watch, I listen. We don't get a chance to private message much because that dude's probably busier than any dude in the entire world. And I usually submit art every 6 months, but I haven't been able to do it for 10. So I've been waiting on him to come to me this time if he ever gets a chance. But you never know because the man's a busy dude and I don't want to bother him either. So, guys, we've talked about Lady Death. We've talked about where you got your start in cosplay. You mentioned a little bit that you're an actress as well. I played the lead in my high school play, guys. I'm just saying. Well, can you tell us a little bit about your acting career?
Sure. I mean, I tend to do more stage stuff than movies, but I've done a few just more indie films and stuff like that. But I'm also a singer and a dancer, so I was actually a professional ballroom dancer for
multi-talented, folks. How's that make you feel? She's got all the talent. Y'all didn't get any.
Yeah, well, I've always joked I'm the talent, he's the business. Because believe me, I don't have a mind for business at all. So, we complement each other well in that case. But no, I enjoy being creative. And so, I try to find, that's why cosplay suited me so well. That's why I enjoy acting. I actually just got finished with a run working with the Arizona Opera, with their production Carmen, and, just lots of fun things. Like I said, I just enjoy being creative in any way that I can. So.
That's really, really awesome, honestly. It sounds like you love being creative because you probably don't have a lot of time in between all that to do anything else is what it sounds like to me. But if you could, what would be another creative outlet for you that you haven't been able to take part in yet?
That's a great one. I have some weird ones that I've always wanted to try. I want to learn how to fence sword fighting, lightsaber, any of that.
That'd be badass.
I would love to do. I've done like a little like stage combat stuff, but I would love to learn how to fence. I've also really always wanted to learn how to play the harp. Weird thing. I don't know what I would ever do with it, but I just think it would be beautiful.
She could do competitive sleeping.
I would be a really good competitive sleeper.
Now that actually sounds like a talent indeed, man. Because competitive sleeping, what do you have? Like some air horns blowing at your head, like, oh, don't wake up, don't wake up. I just see it now, like a Super Bowl of competitive
these
sleeping.
two dogs running over me all night, and I don't budge. So
Really?
I think I could handle the air horn.
You guys got a ton of what is that? Books or movies behind you there?
This is my bookshelf. And I think you can only see about half of it on this screen.
Yeah.
So like this is just one side, and there's an equal mirrored full half over there.
What are you into? What are these books here?
Sci-fi, fantasy.
Are those Star Trek and Star Wars novels on there? I see some of them.
Another Star Wars.
Star Wars is somewhere here. That whole top shelf is Warhammer 40K.
Damn, the whole thing, huh?
Yeah, the Black Library, most of it, and then trying to think, I got the Foundation series, bunch of Piers Anthony, Isaac Asimov, obviously. I read Orson Scott Card, Terry Brooks. I read a lot. I haven't been really reading books for the last few years. I've been reading a lot of manga. But I think I'm currently reading something like 200 different mangas a week right now.
Jesus, man. 200 a week?
I read voraciously. I read almost like on a normal book, I read about a page a minute. Sometimes 2 pages a minute, it depends. But I read very, very fast. So I consume everything super fast.
I need to send you the Hellbringers PDF so you can read the trade paperback, man.
I could. Let me put it like this. Do you know One Piece?
The anime?
The anime? The manga. It's like one of the big 3. It's like One Piece, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z sort of thing. One Piece is infamous for its massive amount of episodes. I think there's something on
They're over 1,000 now.
Yeah, it's 1,300 episodes. I caught up to the manga in under a week. From never having read it to current. Yeah. So I read very, very, very fast.
So on the mangas, you have to read those from the back cover, right? All the way to the front.
You read them from the upper right to the left, and yeah. So you read right to left on those for pretty much all of them.
I think it is from the back cover. If you were he's reading it on his.
Yeah, I'm reading it on my iPad.
Okay.
So I think if it was a physical book, I do think you open it from the back.
Yeah, I've had a physical book on it before, and I gave it a try, and let me tell you, that fucks with your brain a lot. Especially for somebody who's running storyboards for comics the way I do.
Sure.
When you run it backwards, you're just like, damn these people, damn them.
I mean, I can definitely see that. I don't know. I've never had an issue flip-flopping between the two. But I'm also I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none sort of person to start with. So I'm pretty flexible in how I mentally envision things. I mean, to a large degree, it's played very well into our business in the sense that I look at things outside the box and I'm flexible with it. And I think that's why I can do it, because I can read 15 mangas and then go read 20 comic books, and my brain has zero issue processing it.
Totally, man. Let me ask you a question. Do any mangas collect in value the way comics collect? Say there's an Amazing Spider-Man #1 of the manga universe.
I would say that's not really my realm. I read it all digitally because I couldn't possibly store the amount of stuff I read on a weekly basis. And a lot of this stuff is online only releases to a large degree, or it's not even like available anywhere. So there's a lot of that. I don't believe so. Certainly not in the way that like comic books are a thing by any means. Like nothing of that magnitude. And I think to a large degree it's because I've had this conversation with a couple comic book artists before, actually. It's the way comics and manga are viewed culturally between here and there, and why like mangas generally tend to be more successful than comic books, and especially indie manga and web series and stuff tend to be significantly more successful than indie comic books do on like a statistical scale.
Speaking of indie comic books, we're going to throw the screen share back up and show you guys the Kickstarter just for a second. Let's refresh that page real quick. We are at $7,796 with 95 backers still, with 3 days to go. If we get to 9,000, you guys get the Jengharr and Shredd custom enamel pin, but then you will also get the shark tooth. You guys are going to get the $12,000 shark tooth no matter what at the 12,000 for the stretch goals, guys. So if you're watching and you back the campaign, you got nothing to worry about. I already got you some shark teeth, some fossil shark teeth. Everybody's
cool.
Getting just because, you know, I told you I was going to hook you up, give you guys some fossils and some amber and shit like that. So you guys are going to get that. That's going to be cool. Guys, we don't want to keep these guys too long. We usually only give people an hour, but these guys have been an incredible guest, and we have not been able to stop talking. Which means if we ever come back on the show again, we're going to have you guys back for sure.
Definitely.
Let's show off that spear behind you just for a second, if we could.
The one that like fell on my head. Yeah.
Yes.
That was a dog's doing. So yeah.
Check that out, guys. They paid attention to that blood bone tip that we have for Jengharr for the spear. Absolutely incredible detail from these guys. Superheroes Unlimited, guys. You can't be sleeping on these guys at all. They made 1,500 freaking costumes and items. 1,500. It's out of control, guys. All right.
We have a lot of fun making this costume too.
Yeah, well, dude, I remember like when we first started talking about it, you guys had contacted me, and so did she, and she was like trying to get all the details right for this, which is crazy. That's how much you guys care, which is really, really awesome.
Real fast, I put like, because we were talking about this little like piece here on the belt. I actually like, it's like fur and paint and glue and such to kind of give it that, you know, you said like the stomach lining, you know, that look. So yeah, there was a lot of detail that went in, and like truly like I was sitting there like staring at like each like individual little piece, like, okay, where are we gonna wrap the ropes? How are we gonna tie? Again, like the painting of the spearhead, like we really took our time and tried to put as much effort and detail into it as possible.
Well, I just want to let you know, you guys didn't have to do that. I was impressed just to have a chance to work with y'all. You know what I mean? As Derrick knows, I'm a huge fan of you guys. I've been saying I wanted to work with y'all ever since we met in Nebraska. We finally got the chance. So it's been an amazing time. I hope we get to work together again, because it would be
definitely.
Awesome. For sure.
It would be awesome to see you guys as Lilith.
And it'd be awesome to see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, see you next week, dude. It's not a couple weeks, it's next week.
It is. It's next week.
But it's next week, like, right?
Dude, I'm not ready, man. I'm still printing Valak right now, guys. I'm doing edits. I'm trying to recover for some shit. You know what I mean? Like it's been crazy the past couple weeks, man. So you guys need to tell everybody out there where they can find you.
Well, as a company, we are Superheroes Unlimited, so you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you know, all of the usual suspects. Myself personally, I'm Sapphire and Nova Cosplay. You can find me the same. We keep it, you know, nice and easy that way, the same name across everything. That way we're real easy to find.
Yes.
There you go, guys. If you're looking for it, Sapphire and Nova cosplay on everything. So they will be in Nebraska next week. Make sure to check out their Lady Death cover on the Lady Death campaign for Brian Polito. And then also check out our Jengharr and Shredd 2 campaign.
Definitely.
Donate what you can. If you can't, make sure to share the campaign because that's the only way we get noticed as the little guy. And I can't believe that I'm lucky enough to have people like this right here working with me. I really lucked out, guys. There's no other way to put it. But
We're
even
glad to
better,
work with you.
now we got some
It's
friends
fun.
as well because these guys are also people I consider to be cool enough to be friends. So I got to let you guys know I really appreciate it. Thanks for giving us the chance to work with us. And guys, it is going to be my time for my goodbye speech. Do you guys got anything else you want to say to these
We are
fine folks
good.
out here in the world?
No, I think that was wonderful. And again, it was an honor working with you as well. And we look forward to future collaborations.
Definitely.
Ladies and gentlemen, Derrick and Sapphire Nova, amazing, amazing people. We're going to pull this up solo mode and get this going here. Guys, this is episode 55, the last episode of the Mayhem Show for the foreseeable future while I get some stuff taken care of with my health, with also fulfillment for the last two campaigns for Valak and this one right here for Jengharr and Shredd. I wanted to let you guys know that I really appreciate you so much, not just helping me make my dreams come true for Kickstarter with these Hellbringers books, but also this show and watching it every week as we talk to these amazing artists, as we talk to these amazing creators, these cosplayers, all the folks out there who have just been absolutely incredible to us. We'll never forget it. This, I don't want to say is the last show ever, but it's going to be the last show for right now. I'm not sure when we're going to come back. We don't have an immediate Kickstarter following Jengharr and Shredd 2, which is the first time we have ever had something like that, guys. I want you guys to know that whatever we take with this money from Jengharr and Shredd 2, I'm going to try my best to put this towards the next book for Hellbringers. I'm going to show you a little hype video for Hellbringers 2022 before we hop off here. Guys, it has been an amazing ride. I love you guys. I'm not going to stop drawing. I'm going to keep progressing my art as I try to push through this with the health stuff. I really appreciate you guys so much for coming on here, for supporting me, for supporting Hellbringers and just giving a book to a guy or a chance to a guy to make his own book that was kind of unknown. So, guys, we're going to be guesting a lot at the cons this year. We still got Vegas. They plan on making us a guest out there for Amazing Vegas. Also catch us at Fan Expo. Colorado Springs Comic-Con, guys. You know it's the best in the world. And then Rhode Island Comic-Con along with probably, folks, Cowtown Comic-Con as well, with Nebraska being next week as they talked about. So amazing to have Derrick and Sapphire on the show tonight. Amazing to have all our amazing guests that we've had since it was Joe Rubenstein, the #1 guest back in the day, all the way up to Eric Larson, you know, all these guys, Buzz Dixon, amazing characters that we've had on this show in the past year. And I cannot thank you guys enough for watching the show, for, you know, being subscribers on our YouTube show, watching us every week on Facebook. You know, these Wednesday nights are going to be spent with family now. Adina, Violet, and, you know, I'm gonna, you know, dedicate my time to them during this time. So when we come back, guys, we're going to have tons of good stuff. Hellbringers ends with the next book, and then it's on to all these amazing series that we're going to have after. Jengharr and Shredd 2 is the last issue of Jengharr and Shredd, period. That's why you got to pick it up, guys. It's got a really emotional ending. I put my heart and soul into this one, and you guys will read it and you'll understand, you know, sometimes it ends. So in the meantime, guys, here's the Hellbringers 2022 video for the hype video. Thank you again. Love you guys. You guys have been great.
she must think I'm a bad end. She must think me a coward, I'm sure. Just think about me when you look to the great fire mountain. Are you lonely?
Well, who's the big bad boss? I'm the big bad boss. And my name is Hellput, talk a lot of shit when I walk. I just walk around with a bad mood. My attitude, that's bad too. If the queen said I'ma bust a move, if you cross her, I'ma bust you too. Lilith said I gotta go away to find a husband and my daddy, yeah. On a special mission, I complete the mission, always ready for a battle, eh? Find Lucifer, then bring him back. Think I gotta jump on where he hiding at. But first I gotta move the queen to a safer place where ain't nobody riot at. That's a 10-4, buddy, roger that. About to
Hello, all you Hellbringers fans out there. It's me, everybody's favorite Lord and Savior, Jesus. And I just want to take a quick break from my very, very busy schedule of, miracles and, other Jesus duties up here to tell you all about Hellbringers. Yes, the trade paperback collecting the first arc and 5 issues of the hit series that was on Kickstarter this year and is currently getting con exclusives and selling out in every con. It's glorious. But you don't have to take my word for it. But you probably should, though, because, I am like the most reputable person, ever. Don't get me started on Lucifer the Conqueror. What a shitty husband. You'd think Adam was pretty shitty for letting Eve go in there and, get all funky with that snake and eating the apples and stuff. Lucifer? Oh. Well, anyways, listen, I'd love to stay, rain down blessings, but I am like the busiest savior ever. And these mansions, they're not going to build themselves. So you stay blessed, okay? Don't forget, Hellbringers. You better get it quick before it's too late. Gotta go. Love you. Amen.